Opportunities to leverage social media are fast growing, and although highly regulated, the financial services industry is increasingly playing a role in the social space. Here in London at the Credit Suisse Research Institute biannual meeting, experts are discussing the current state of social media in the industry, as well as the benefits and constraints.
Well, I think social media is exploding rapidly around the globe at the moment. If you look at Facebook, it now has more than 900 million users. There are now more than 200 million users of Twitter at the moment. I think if you look at some of the statistics which people voice, apparently 1 in 7 people in the planet use social media. It's something like 82% people, penetration of people online, and 39% of Americans communicate online more than they communicate face-to-face. I think we have to sit up and listen.
Well, since the financial crisis, the banking industry is confronted by threats like the need to deleverage, the regulatory response. Social media is, in some respects, a parallel threat, but it's also a very, very big opportunity. And if you look at the way social media business models have changed, the retail business in the retail sector, in the tech sector, it's going to have big implications for financial services. Most people at this stage have relationships with social media sites, but they don't have online relationships with their banks, particularly in the private banking sphere. So in many respects, that's an opportunity for the banking industry as such.
We asked the experts how social media can be more effective than traditional communications tools.
Well, obviously, the social means it's about customers, and any interaction, any relationship with a customer is going to be affected by the messages, and both two ways. I think it's really important for customers to be able to talk to the bank.
I think in many respects it speeds up the game. If you look at what our corporate communications team, for example, do in terms of monitoring social media feed and news on Credit Suisse. It's going to be very important in terms of the brand of the company, and also whom we hire, and reaching out to younger people who are looking to Credit Suisse as a company they may want to work with. And then from my own point of view, from research, it's a very nimble way, I think, of connecting ideas with our clients.
We also asked about the constraints of implementing social media in the financial services industry.
There are supervision requirements in terms of the kind of information you can make available. There are issues of how you can use information about potential customers online, or how you can advertise yourself.
Some of the constraints are having the technology tools that we need, having the coordination across the different groups, cross-border issues, legal, regulatory restrictions that are still being developed by many of the regulators in many of the different jurisdictions. We want to ensure that anything that we do with client data, particularly on the banking side, be it PB or IB, that we're very careful in terms of taking the right steps to ensure our client confidentiality.
The important thing to say with marketing as well is that while you engage socially, the customers don't want to feel as if they're marketed at. And there's this really delicate tipping point when people suddenly realize there's too many adverts, or, oh, what are they actually trying to do? And they become, what little bit of trust there is suddenly goes away. And so you have to handle that communication and channel very carefully.
So how are consumers' expectations of financial services changing?
I think there's a whole range of things at play here, and many of them, I guess, come from the financial market crisis. One is a need for transparency. Second, I think, is on the institutional side, the very acute need for speed of reaction, speed of trade.
There's lots of ways in which customers want to give feedback, they want to give opinions, they want to refer to their friends. All of these come together in the social sphere. So it's a coming together of communication and collaboration.
One of the things we talked about in the meeting today, and one of the most important things, of course, is generational differences. It was pointed out that actually, if you look at users of social media, you find young people, and actually you find quite a number of older people, so there's a kind of U shape. So think about the users, who they are. and understand them, and I think that's one very important thing. Two is we also talked about the importance of using social media for employees. So it's not just customers. It's actually, if you have a large organization like Credit Suisse, how do you keep people connected to the values of the organization? So employees, as well as who are the actual customers, and how do they use the media? Millennial generation are going to be your employees of the future. They use social media. They're also going to be the big investors of the future. They use social media.
That was it for the Credit Suisse Research Institute 2012 summer meeting. For the latest information and research, visit the website.